How much does the lineup change without Naquan in there?
There's definitely some change. We guys have to probably play some positions that they wouldn't have to play as much if he's in there. Takes away some of our versatility, but then it opens an opportunity for somebody else to step up and show they can do something.
How will you determine when it's time for him to rejoin the team?
Oh man, this is our responsibility as coaches, as men, as mentors, is to hold these guys accountable and to love them through the consequences, right? Not love them around it. And so Quan's gonna have to show that he has learned something from this. There's still a process that's going on that we have no control over that has to take place, and then we find out what happens there, and then we're gonna deal with what we have to deal with here. And so I'm not putting a timetable on it. It's kind of like sometimes at practice I put 20 minutes on the clock and I say we're going to do this until it sounds right, it feels right, and I don't know exactly how long it's going to take, but when it sounds right and it feels right, then we move on to the next thing. And so there's going to be some of that involved in this, but right now I'm really not even focused on that as much as I'm focused on that young fella getting better every day and moving in the right direction and recognizing what his pitfalls are, what his downfalls are, and learning to develop a plan to avoid those situations.
As kind of building off that, how much of this is a teachable moment for not just Quan, but the entire roster?
Yeah, man, we tell people all the time that a smart person learns from their own mistake, but a wise person learns from other people's mistakes. And every day, almost every day, we show scenarios that are taking place, whether it's in professional sports or other collegiate programs, where people are making poor decisions or they're putting themselves in bad situations and what can result from it. And we hope that we can learn from other people's mistakes. And so this one, though, our team hopefully can learn from someone else's mistake, and hopefully then Quan can show that he has learned something from his mistake.
What conversations have you had with him, and how is he taking this?
I just told him that what the decision was, and I'm going to let him make it through, handle that part of the process that's outside of our program, and we're going to make sure that he's going to class and just getting the help that he needs, all the different things, and then we'll start. I'll start having those types of conversations with him. He knows we love him, and we knows we're there for him, and he's extremely apologetic for what happened.
He didn't play for you guys when you had your scrimmage. Was he away from the team for other reasons previously? There
were some personal issues that he was having to deal with, and we were letting him deal with those things. And you're talking with all these guys. You're talking about young men who are experiencing certain pressures in life for the first time, whether it's pursuit of the NBA or the pressures of the upcoming season with expectations on them, and trying to graduate from college, and issues that going on back home that he has to deal with, and there was just a lot of things that he needed some time away, and obviously we didn't give him the type of help that he needed to handle all the things that he's facing, and so we're going to do a better job as a staff of providing those things for him, being there for him as he deals with the consequences of bad decisions.
Well, will he have a lot to catch up on then after missing so much practice?
That I haven't even really thought about that part of it.
Okay.
That's way down the road for us. I'm a coach the guys who are here, and And then when he gets things situated, then we'll figure out what the next step is.
Speaking of those guys, what do you want to see the most when you guys play Emporia State tomorrow night from your team?
We're trying to develop consistency, right? That's like, I go to Chick-fil-A, right? You know, I go to Chick-fil-A.
I've been, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But why do we go?
It's good.
It's good. We know what we're gonna get, right? We know what we're gonna get. We know what it's gonna taste like. We know the kind of service we're gonna get. That lemonade's gonna be the same. You know what I mean? Like, and that's people pay for that. You know, and I tell them all the time, man, I'd rather have a guy who I know exactly what I'm getting from him every day, rather than one day I get 25 points and 15 rebounds, the next day I get 2 points and 5 fouls, right? Like, because you don't know what to expect. So we're looking for our team, individuals on the team, to give consistent effort and consistent production so that we can learn to depend and count on them.
Who is, with the new offense, who's playing at the 5 and kind of who's, helping them on the wing?
The good thing about the new offense is that you can put multiple guys, and it's not a 5 position, more as a 5 spot. And you can put multiple guys that are decision makers in that spot to get the kind of actions that you want. And so we're trying everybody right now. We're trying to, and we'll figure out from game to game. We'll have different mismatches, and so we'll work that out from game to game.
At media day, you said you felt like leadership, you were kind of still looking for it in some ways.
Applications are still being taken right now.
Has everybody that's been stepped up for you guys in that?
Applications for leadership are still being taken.
Was this the not fun part of being the head coach? This is the first time you had to deal with something.
Man, it's never fun disciplining your children, right? But the Bible's very clear that the greatest form of love is discipline. And whom a father loves, he disciplines. And so a lot of people run away from it, and that's never been one of my shortcomings. So I'm thankful that God made me in a way that I'm not afraid of confrontation, and I'm not afraid of holding people accountable. And because it's to me, it's a service of love. And I hope that all the people that I come in contact with, whether they're players, staff members, coaches, administration, it doesn't matter who it is, that they respect me because I'm going to tell you the truth, and I'm going to hold you accountable.
Looking ahead, I know you got the exhibition tomorrow night, but how important is this opportunity on next Monday?
Oh, man, the opportunity is incredible, right? To be able to play on the first night of college basketball. Remember the 24/7 basketball that they used to do on ESPN and how cool that was? I don't know about y'all, but I would stay up and watch. And we played in a few of them, but I'd still stay up and watch the games, right? And to know it's the first night of college basketball and the Kansas State Wildcats are being featured on TNT, right? Man, we might like have a segue with Ernie and Chuck and and Kenny and and Shaq. You know what I mean? Like that to me, that's pretty cool. This is why I came here, and this is the vision I have for our program, that we are a program that's sought after, because television doesn't follow the names on the front, they follow players, and we're gonna get the kind of players that they want on TV.
What's further ahead right now, the offense or the defense?
Depending on which coach you talk to. Our turnover rate, it has to go down. We turn it over too much. We got a pretty good shooting team. There are like a number of drills that we do that you have a standard that you want to make, and we're consistently exceeding those standards. In fact, we're starting to raise the standard on some of them that I've had for 19 years, and here we are. So I like our ability to shoot the ball if we shoot the right shots. And so against our own defense, and guys know how to pick on it and take advantage of it, sometimes the defense doesn't look quite as good. And so I'm excited to see what our defense looks like against somebody that's not prepared for it.
Coach, how excited are you to be back in Brownwich Coliseum with Wildcat fans?
Man, I'm fired up. I heard that the student tickets have sold out, and so And man, those are my people, right? The students. We have the best students in the country, and I'm so thankful for them. I'm so thankful for everything that they do, not just showing up in Bram, but how they impact our community, and man, they raise money for so many different philanthropies, and I'm happy that they allow me to be a small part of that.
Before the stuff happened with Naquan, just in the off season, how much of a focus was his foul trouble and him staying out of that?
Well, last year, when he played 30 minutes, we only lost one game. And so that was, it was a big focus. So we were working on his footwork, Coach Urick, and the staff did a great job with him working on his footwork and his stance and playing with his chest and his feet, not with his hands so much, not picking up the tic-tac fouls. The fact that he'd gotten stronger, is going to help him. And so, yeah, it was a focus in the summer.
Based on the standards you mentioned earlier, is this the best shooting team you've had?
I've only been here 2 years, so we have more depth. We have more depth of shooters, like multiple guys who can make shots, and so that helps. But what also helps is guys who move the ball and throw it to the open guy, and so that's another part of it.
How about a couple late additions, Quez and Will? How have they adapted? And, just the fact that they're veteran guys, has that made it easier for them?
Yeah, well, man, see, this is the part I'm not good at right here. Quez and Will, their experience is going to help us a lot, right? But sometimes your experience hurts you, like too much basketball. And so I need them to, as they have emptied their buckets and come to practice an empty bucket and allow us to pour into them, they have been improving. And I would have hoped them to be further along, but it may be a blessing that it's taken its time, because it'll allow us, not to peak too soon.
You said the applications are still out for leadership position. What are you looking for? What do you hope is on those applications?
People who love the guys more than they love themselves. And part of that love is not caring what they think, but telling them what they need to hear when they need to hear it. And so, both on and off the court.
And that's something that a guy like Keith last year was very...
Marquise Noel he's one of the 3 best leaders I've ever been around. And it was second day of Shark Week. I looked at Coach Urick and I said, man, I didn't value Keith's leadership enough. My man in the summer called, once a week he would, hey coach, can we do something as a team together? He would have those guys in the gym. Nobody was late. Like he had earned the right to confront people because he was the hardest worker on the team, and it was evident. It wasn't close, right? It was evident, and he wasn't afraid. He wasn't worried about them liking him or not. They had to respect him because of his work ethic and his approach. And that, I'm looking for multiple people. You're not going to fill that with one guy, but we could fill it with multiple guys. And they have to be willing to be uncomfortable, right? Leadership is not comfortable. This was not comfortable to come in here and, talk about the discipline and what's going on with Quan, and that's not comfortable. But if you're going to be a leader, you have to be willing to embrace being uncomfortable. And so that's what I'm looking for.
In terms of growth and just overall getting better, what are you looking for Cam Carter to do tomorrow night?
I want Cam to be a bucket. Cam's role this year, last year he was a role player, and this year he's a weapon, and his role is very clear. It's to score the basketball. That's it. Score the basketball. And not remember, have a very, very short memory.
Do you think it's possible for Naquan to be a leader on this team when he comes back?
As of this moment, I don't know if he's coming back, right? I'm not even thinking about that right now. Right now, I'm looking for dudes that are on the team to be leaders.
last year, kind of midway through conference play, maybe you were working your guys a little too hard. Is that something that you're just going to take into account this year, maybe dumbing down the practices a little bit?
I'm getting a little wiser with it. We have less bodies than we did last year. Not having 2 healthy walk-ons and just all the things that's hurt. So yeah, we're gonna be a little bit wiser. It's not gonna stop us from competing though. Every day, and so you try to look at things. I think we've got a good grasp of how we want to travel and things like that. So that's going to help us. That was part of the problem last year. Some of our travel schedule. I tried to do too much on travel day, and we had to back off there.
You mentioned the walk-ons. How nice is it just having Manhattan Christian in your backyard?
Well, Coach, they've been, he's been great to us, and we hope we can be a blessing to him too. But yeah, it's nice.
You seem to get a lot of community support. You had a kid on campus this weekend. How nice was that to see everybody helping you out?
Man, I haven't been I've only been 2 places, but I got some guys on staff that have been multiple places at a high level and have recruited high-level kids. And to a man, they said they'd never seen anything like this before. So hats off to our community and how they rally behind Kansas State and our basketball program, but our athletic department in general, and how welcoming they were, and just the community, the students. I mean, it was really, I don't know, if I'm a kid and, I'm picking it, right? Like that was incredible. So very, very thankful for that. There's not enough words to thank the community for how they rallied around this visit.
Has this weekend been kind of a epitome of Kansas State, that you can be a big fish in the little pond, but that also means you're pretty damn visible, and when you do something, you're the big fish?
I heard you in your thing this morning. Yeah, I mean, with the privilege of being there comes the responsibility of being there, and that's on us as a staff to do a better job with our guys of having them understand that and confronting them with it over and over and over. But they're in the midst of the blessing of it. It doesn't. How do I say this? The presence of the blessing of being in this community does not remove the pressure that goes along with that. And how do you handle that, right? That's the growth that we want to see in our guys every single day.